Hi everybody, my name is Mrs. Maneno and I'm from Colgan High School, and this is Mr. Maneno and he is from
Hi.
Gainesville Middle School. And today we're going to do a joint lesson for our life science and biology students dealing with trees, and we hope that you get outside, enjoy this beautiful weather, and what we're going to look at is the height of trees. Have you ever stood and looked at a giant tree and said, I wonder how tall that tree is? So we're going to show you in the part 1 of this video how to measure the height of a tree. How do you do it, Mr. Maneno?
All right, there are a couple different ways to do this. Today, most arborist people that study trees use lasers and do it that way, but for centuries this was kind of the accepted method. So you've got to review a little bit of math. So if you know this is an isosceles right triangle, that's a right angle, the length of this side and the length of this side are going to be the same. So what we're going to do is try to recreate that on a giant scale and have this be our tree height and this be the distance and have those two be the same, and then we can estimate it. So the way we can do that is a broom handle, any kind of stick. You could use a meter stick or yardstick if you have it. But basically what you do is you hold out a stick and you want it to be even with your eye and then where your fingers are, like this. So I'm just going to use my arm straight with my eye with my fingers, and where that comes together I'm going to make a little mark. Okay, so now that I have that, I can do the same thing. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to measure the height of that post right there just to make sure this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this out again at arm's length the same way it was. I'm going to close my left eye because I'm right eye dominant, and I'm just going to match up the bottom of the pole and the top of this pole with the height of that post. So let's see here, and that looks pretty good. That's the bottom of the post and the top of the post. So right where my eye is, about right here, bring the meter stick please, the ruler. And so we'll just measure from right here. All right, so that looks like there's 48. All right, so that's about 2 meter sticks, so that's about 96 inches. And that should be about the same as this. So there's 48. And there's, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit off. It's not going to be exact to do this, but that's about right. So if we take that same principle now, and we're going to look at this poplar tree, this large poplar tree that's on our property, and I'm going to try to do that same principle to see if we can get a height for that. Yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is, let's see, trying to get that, I got to go back a little bit here. Now obviously this works better on flat ground, it's not going to be perfect. Back maybe another step. It's probably hard to see this on the video, but what I'm doing is, again, holding my arm out straight, putting the bottom of the stick on the bottom of the tree, top of the stick on the top, and I'd say right there is about right for that tree height. So what we've now created is that isosceles right triangle right here. So now what I really need to do, if I measure the height, the distance from me to that tree, that should be the same as the height of the tree. So, I mean, we could use a tape measure and run it the whole way, but easier just to put it out and measure my steps and just kind of do it that way. So this is just getting a measurement of each step. So let's see. So from the front of my foot where I started looks like 84. So that would be,
3 steps?
I took 3 steps.
Okay, so 84 inches per 3 steps. So 84 divided by 3. And we got 28 inches per step.
All right, so each step's about 28 inches. And again, we're using inches and feet here today just because arborists in the United States, that's what they use. All right, so we were about here when we did that, so I'm going to step off steps of the tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
40 steps.
40 steps.
Okay, you've got some followers there. All right.
So each step,
So
28 inches, 40 steps.
So there are 28 inches per step, and you took 40 steps. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply 28 by 40. And I got 1,120 inches from where you started to the base of that tree.
So that should be the height of the tree. give or take.
Yeah, and we want to know that in feet. We can just divide that by 12, and we get about 93 or 93.3 feet tall, which would be 93 feet 4 inches.
Yeah, so that tree should be, if it fell right now, it should fall to about right here. That's about how tall that tree should be. All right.
And that's how you measure the height of a tree.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we look at diameter and do some other measurements.